The revolutionaries were inspired by the vision of building a new, just society without kings or priests at its head. By capturing the Bastille, they brought to an end an ancient system of tyranny and cleared the way for a new kind of society.
The political revolution in France went hand in hand with a deep and profound revolution in people's thinking about the world we live in. Arguably, the most important revolutionaries were not soldiers, but thinkers. Philosophes like Jean-Jacques Rousseau and Voltaire, people who questioned the age-old beliefs about religion and human life. They're both buried here in the Pantheon in Paris, showing their importance to France.
This extraordinary building is a testament to the success of secular ideas in the French Revolution. It was originally built as a Christian church, but then the revolutionaries converted it to a secular public building, a place where the nation could honour its great men
and women.
It's a shrine to the philosophes, the new saints and heroes of France. At the centre of this godless cathedral is not an altar, but Foucault's pendulum, a scientific demonstration of the rotation of the Earth.
Not all the philosophes were out-and-out atheists. Many were agnostics, people who believe that we can never know whether or not there is a God. But all were united in thinking that reason was the way forward, and this is what made their ideas so radical and revolutionary.
For the philosophes, it was reason, not the traditional teachings and dogmas of the church, but reason that provided the proper basis for society and the whole of human life.
Such was the success of the secularists in the French Revolution that at one stage, even the famous church of Notre Dame in Paris was converted into a temple of reason.
A statue of the goddess Reason was erected here to show that the old ways and beliefs had been swept away and that a new age had begun. For a while, it seemed that humanity's rebellion against God and religion was going to end in total victory.
There was a large de-Christianization in France during the French Revolution. People started to burn the churches, to go to churches and to take what the riches of the church. And that was very important for the people at the time.
But religion had not been banished from France forever. Notre Dame's transformation into a secular cathedral was very brief.
Nevertheless, the French Revolution left an atheist legacy to France and the whole of the Western world. Many believe it marked the beginning of a golden age of atheism.
Most of the major thinkers of the last 200 years have either ignored God or even condemned him as a figment of the imagination.
We don't live in the godless world those early atheist pioneers dreamed of. Religion hasn't died out.
But in one respect they did triumph, for all over Europe religion has been pretty much banished from political and public life. It hasn't been abolished, but it has become a much more private affair.
The godless haven't captured the hearts and minds of all men and women, but they have driven religion from the seat of power, perhaps forever.
For over 120 years, this building in Leicester has been home to one of Britain's oldest secular organisations, the Leicester Secular Society.
A long time ago, in 1851, if you weren't a member of the Church of England, it was very difficult to get yourself solemnised as being married, as being registered as being born, or most of the other things that people think are quite normal. So a group of people, a large group of people, formed a secular society for people who weren't religious. On the front of the building, we've got various philosophers who weren't religious, who were free thinkers. There's Socrates, there's Voltaire, there's Tom Paine. These people all had in common in that they contributed to the freedom of human thought. But also on the front we've got a statue of Jesus. And people have often wondered, what on earth is a secular society having a bust of Jesus on the front of it for? Well, the grounds was partly that he was a free thinker, but also I think it was done in order to wind up the Church of England at the time, who were very annoyed that the secular society should put a bust of Jesus on the front of it.
It's a lovely building. It was built as a venue for people who weren't religious to come and express their views and have meetings, so that on a Sunday, for example, there was regular opportunities to meet, so it was in opposition to a church. But I think also there's been really interesting people coming to talk here, like, for example, William Morris, who used to do a lot of thinking about how people could better their lives and get away from religion. He was a great believer in the skills of people's hands and the arts and crafts.
Bertrand Russell, who was a great mathematician and philosopher, spoke here. In more recent years, we've had Tony Benn speaking here.
Modern-day Leicester is a city of great diversity, with people of many different cultures and faiths. So is there a role for an organisation like the Leicester Secular Society in this day and age?
People from all cultural backgrounds are living over here, and this society, secular society, you know, can cut across all religions and see everybody living as equal members of the society. I don't believe in God, you know, that concept. That's not very important. For me, the important thing is that human beings, they live together, they work together, and they love each other.
It costs a lot of money to run an old building like this, and the members of the Leicester Secular Society have been discussing whether or not to sell it. But after a lot of thought, they've decided to stay and renovate it, and they're making plans for its future.
The building will offer opportunity to all, whether they are atheists or not, to come and argue their case, and we can have discussions with them.
So it'll be very nice to get it back into a situation where we can again feel proud when we're showing people around that, you know, of the history of the place and actually the fabric of the building. That would be good, actually.
And also it's very special for Leicester because it's the only dedicated secular non-religious building outside London in the whole country.
It's the only one?
It's the only one.
The hall's got a future because people want the hall to have a future. We've got the big redevelopment plan that will go through over the next 3 or 4 years to renovate the building. It isn't a home for an old society, it is a living building. It's got businesses in it, it's used by community groups. We've got a martial arts studio downstairs, we have a bookshop which has always been a part of the building, and we have the dance hall upstairs. But we have people using this building every single day. It's got a huge throughput of visitors. But it is a living building. It's an amazing piece of work. And the thought that back in 1881 a group of people got together with shared ideas to actually construct a building as magnificent as this, that's a tradition that surely is worth preserving.
I'm Ken Daniels. I grew up as a missionary kid in a very evangelical Christian family, and I myself became a missionary as an adult with my wife in Africa, and I eventually abandoned the faith of my youth and became an agnostic. I believe we were driving to church there that day. Was that not the case?
I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
We were in Africa for a little over 2 years on the southern edge of the Sahara in Western Africa, and our goal was to bring the Bible to people who had not received the Bible in their language up to this point.
There's the town that we lived in. All
Very,
the
very
sand,
dusty.
Sand and dust, heat.
My doubts about the Christian faith originated in the Bible, and especially in the Old Testament. I'd grown up with an idea that God was perfect and that everything he did was good, and yet I read in the pages of the Old Testament things that were very disconcerting. You know, go and slaughter all of the Midianites, men, women, and children.